Warning: the following video contains explicit language which may be offensive to some viewers or inappropriate for children. The content within this video is intended for mature audiences only.
Well, here we are, true believers. We have made it to the last episode of the second season. This episode is roughly 50 minutes long, so it'll probably take a while to get through it, but it's going to be worth it. And after we get through this, we will get into the novel. And the first novel. And the second novel. The second novel is going to be a treat because I've only read the first 2 or 3 chapters. So when we get to that on this, what I'm intentionally doing is holding back so we can experience the second novel together for the first time. So, with that all being said, actually, one more thing before we get into it. Remember, Saturday and Sunday, I post 1 video each day, and it's a full episode of Welcome to Nightville. So, if you want good comedy horror, check them out. If you don't check them out. It's all good. Not going to get mad. So, now, without further ado, let's jump off into this.
We're going to need to stay sharp if we end up finding the Traveler.
Ready when you are. You believe your friend was playing rabbits?
Yeah, this is pretty good. It's been a while since I've listened to this episode, so there are things that are going to jar my memory that are going to be, which my reaction should be interesting too.
She started seeing mysterious men in gray.
What's going to happen then? We're going to play this game.
It should be just up ahead. Once you open the door, you can take off the blindfold.
Mm-hmm.
What do you know about chaos theory?
That is chaotic.
Streets were red, then black with blood.
That is still one of my favorite episodes in the first season.
That sounds poetic.
Where are you now?
The bottom line isn't money or purpose. It's inspiration.
Are we still gonna have sex?
That is probably the funniest line, or the funniest setup to that line in season 1 is probably that whole area right there.
I'm afraid not.
A lot of people don't understand the power they're dealing with. I need you to promise me you'll only use these cards for good.
Define good.
When we left you last episode, Carly Parker, Violet, and myself had just listened to a song we'd uncovered on a website at adamlovebomb.com. It was a song called Horned Isotope in G Major.
I still love that. That actually would make for a really cool band name, especially an 80s band.
It was apparent that one of 2 things had happened. Either one of the microphones in the studio had been left running at the end of the recording session for the song, or somebody had included audio of those 2 people using some kind of external microphone.
And we may find out. I don't remember if we find out how that was done.
Perhaps without the 2 subjects of the recording's knowledge or permission. Either way, as you heard last episode, This is what was caught on tape.
If you came here looking to play the game,
yeah.
You're gonna have to look a little bit harder.
What are you talking about? Just tell me where he is.
No.
No?
You have to listen. Really listen.
Please.
Yeah, I hate people that give you cryptic stuff like that.
Please, I've been looking for so long.
Looking was the right thing to do, but now it's time to listen. Good luck.
Yeah, and the good luck is always foreboding. It's kind of like the Chinese curse of may you live in interesting times.
And of course, something else we heard. The voice on that recording sounded exactly like Carly Parker. Violet appeared to be as surprised as I was, but neither of us was as surprised as Carly herself.
That's always not a good thing.
What the hell was that?
That was you. Or somebody who sounded an awful lot like you.
It was me. I mean, it sounded like me. It was me, but it wasn't me.
It wasn't you from this timeline.
Well, that makes no fucking sense at all. Something similar happened with one of the subjects I interviewed on this show. The voice actor Beatrice from the animated film called Lucy and the Cardinal.
Yeah. I think we're going to get in some Mandela shifting here.
She absolutely believed that it was her voice in that movie, but she had no memory of participating in the making of that film in any way. So fucking weird. Yeah.
We went back and listened and listened. We played that song again and again, over and over. It was on the 6th or 7th time through that we finally noticed something.
Yeah, to be honest with you, I'd be the exact same way.
It was barely there, hidden in the background in the middle of the song. We used some audio filtering equipment and brought it forward. We're going to play that section for you now.
Pretty cool music. I can't remember what we're listening for. The toot is kind of cool. A little staticky breaks in there occasionally. That dee sounds mechanical in the background. It doesn't sound like it's part of the music. Maybe Morse code?
Those sounds in the background, those beeps, don't appear to be part of the song. None of the instruments used in the recording are capable of making those sounds organically. So we're left with two possibilities. Either those sounds are a completely random accident, some pipes or digital noise, something that happened during the recording, or they were added after or during the recording on purpose.
And in this universe, there is no telling.
Maybe as a message of some kind. As you know, with rabbits, it's hard to imagine these things are accidental, so we went with option number 2, and immediately began trying to figure out if those sounds actually were random, or if they might be some kind of clue or message.
I'm betting Morse code, if I remember Well, who cares? Or, well, actually, we're going to care because it's part of the storyline. But, yeah, we're going to... As far as speculation, my money lays with Morse code.
They sounded like something familiar. It sounded like Morse code, and that was the first thing we checked into. We tried, over and over, but we couldn't translate any of those clicks and beeps into Morse code.
Well, I'm noted for being wrong about things.
We're gonna have to try something else.
Shit, I was sure it was Morse code. It makes the most sense.
You wrote it down?
Yeah. The dots represent the sounds, the lines represent spaces between them.
It looks like a mess.
Yeah, but...
Riley? You have something?
Maybe.
What?
Have you guys heard of Smitty code?
I haven't heard of Smitty code. Or I don't remember. Well, I've listened to this, so I've heard of it. I just don't remember it. I just don't remember it.
No. What the hell is a Smitty code?
It's also called a tap code or a knock code.
Yeah, that doesn't help.
It's a tapping that prisoners use to communicate. I ran across Smitty code in season 1 of Rabbits. That's a great idea.
Thanks.
Yeah, but mainly, or 25 years of correctional officer, mainly what they used was a variant of Morse code, and it was something fairly easy to pick up on.
My best friend and I used Smitty code to communicate one winter when we were teenagers. We found it in an old Boy Scouts book while we were in juvenile detention.
Hey, juvie, everyone needs a little bit of juvie in their life, I guess.
I know, I was a badass for about 6 months. Anyway, we stayed in adjacent rooms, and our supervisor made us remain silent during the 2-hour commute back and forth from our community service. So, Smitty code was how we'd communicate, and of course, we'd use it to make fun of the guards.
Yeah, that's what they do.
Smitty was a captain in Vietnam around June 1965. He'd heard about prisoners using it during the Second World War. But this type of code actually goes back much further.
Interesting. May have to look this up. There's some things from the last episode of Black Tapes I want to look up, but this is also something I want to go and look up.
In ancient Greece, an historian named Polybius perfected a code invented by 2 of his countrymen. The Romans used Polybius's code to help them communicate on the battlefield. The Polybius square is a 5x5 numerical grid that allowed every letter in the alphabet to be indicated by just 2 numbers. For example, A, located in the top left corner of the numbered grid, would be represented by 1 and 1. The Romans would indicate this by placing 1 torch on either side of an open space.
Interesting. We're going to have to wait on the rest of this because this video is kind of running a little bit long. And we don't want it to get too long. Don't want to take too much time out of people's important and busy days. So until next time, people, be a good human. Be good to other humans. Peace.
Hey, it's 10 p.m. Do you know where your children are?